Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB podcast, and today's the 30th of July 2026. Now it is important to understand, guys, we are recording this episode in the early hours of Dubai, and what happened yesterday, that is the 29th of July in the United States of America, there was a FOMC announcement, and because of the FOMC announcement, Satoshi, there is a very high possibility that the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will be impacting. Now in today's episode, we'll go ahead and discuss what the decision is, and looks like the Federal Reserve Board, they did decide to go ahead and keep the interest rate the same. So what I'd really urge our listeners to do is go ahead and look at official sources. But in today's episode, we'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into what this news is all about. Now at the geopolitical news, Satoshi, there's some unfortunate drama going on. And looks like Iran has surprisingly attacked the US bases in Jordan. And looks like war between Iran and US is escalating. And unfortunately for Iran, Satoshi, Saudi Arabia looks like it is retaliating to Iran as well. Now what I'd really urge our listeners to do is go ahead and look at information only from official sources, because what is happening is Satoshi, a lot of influencers, they want to get a lot more likes and they're putting out a completely different narrative, isn't it? But am I right in saying, Satoshi, at a macro level, news such as this directly impacts the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies?
You're absolutely right, George. Anything that affects the financial landscape can definitely ripple through crypto. Later in the episode, we'll look at specific data and what experts are saying. It's important to stay focused on reliable information. The geopolitical climate is another key factor, and we'll break down what those developments could mean.
We definitely will break down all of these developments, Satoshi. The first thing what we'll probably talk about is what is going on regarding Iran. Then we'll go ahead and touch base on the FOMC announcement, and later on in today's episode, Satoshi, we'll also go ahead and discuss the Jackson Hole speech, because it directly has a massive impact not just on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, also for the US economy, isn't it? And the Federal Reserve Board chair, that is Kevin Walsh, he will be making a speech at Jackson Hole event. So we'll go ahead and take a deep dive into what this news is all about. Now the next news, Satoshi, we're going to be talking about is connected to Europe. And here's the thing, Satoshi, they are launching a regulated layer 1 blockchain. Now what I thought in today's episode will tell our listeners the key difference between open blockchain and permission blockchain, and we'll try to assess where this regulated layer 1 blockchain in Europe actually fits in. Now look, according to me, they're definitely working on a permission blockchain and they've already built a consortium. So we'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into what this news is all about. And talking about blockchain, Satoshi, BNY, which is one of the biggest banks in the world, they're also bringing blockchain, but they are bringing it to Wall Street. So we'll go ahead and discuss what this news is all about. And what is really interesting to note, guys, at a macro level, a lot of the financial giant, rather than competing with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, they are being part of it. But according to me, this is worrisome as well, isn't it? Because this is exactly why Bitcoin was created. But nonetheless, we'll go ahead and explore what this news is all about. Now the final news, Satoshi, before we go ahead and look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East, is connected to Binance. And Binance, guys, they have launched regulated gold and silver, and they're doing that via the Abu Dhabi Global Market Exchange. Really interesting development taking place, isn't it, Satoshi?
It's certainly making waves, George. We definitely see a paradox between the foundational ideals of crypto and this growing institutional involvement. It's a fundamental tension we'll examine, alongside the implications for regulated blockchains in Europe and how major banks like BNY Mellon are integrating the technology. And those developments from Binance and Abu Dhabi are another critical point to track. Lots to uncover today.
Definitely lots to uncover in today's episode. And like we do in every Blockchain DXB podcast, Satoshi, we will also be looking at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Do you want to tell our listeners, Satoshi, what the two news we're going to be discussing later on today? Both of them are absolutely excellent, isn't it? And the second news, according to me, is massive, because this is connected to CENTCOM, isn't it?
Absolutely, George. We'll be looking at how Emirates is partnering with Crypto.com to allow customers to pay for flights with cryptocurrency, which is another move towards mainstream adoption. The second major update involves CENTCOM launching its first bilateral AI task force with the UAE, highlighting the growing focus on technology and defense in the region. Both represent significant developments.
Do you want to tell our listeners, Satoshi, what is CENTCOM and the significance of them being part of the AI task force with the United Arab Emirates?
CENTCOM, or the United States Central Command, is one of 6 combatant commands in the U.S. military, responsible for operations in the Middle East, Central Asia, and parts of North Africa. Their collaboration with the UAE on AI is significant because it reflects an increasing integration of advanced technology into military planning within the region, strengthening security partnerships and potentially shaping future conflicts.
Well, thank you so much for that, Satoshi. So it looks like you have quite a lot of interesting things to explore, isn't it, in today's episode? But before we go ahead and do that, a quick word from our sponsors. Hey everyone, this episode is powered by a new sponsor, that is Amana, and they are the region's first and fastest growing regulated all-in-one trading and investing app. So look, guys, whether you're looking into investing in US stocks like Apple or Tesla, or mega giants like ADNOC or Salik, Amana puts the financial markets on your fingertips. It includes gold, foreign exchange, ETFs, futures, commodities, and guess what, guys? They have over 375 cryptocurrencies, and this makes them the biggest crypto selection in the region. Now for the Blockchain DXB listeners, guys, if you want to go and build long-term wealth without thinking about it every day, explore Amana's pre-built auto investment plans, and all you have to do is set your monthly budget, choose your preferred asset category, and let Amana automate the investing for you. Zero fees, zero lockups, 100% customizable. And here's the thing, guys, funding your account is easier than ever. You can fund your account with Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit cards, instant bank deposits, and even crypto wallets. No friction and no hassles. And the best part is, guys, let's say if you need support, you would absolutely love Amana for this, because they offer 24/6 human customer service, as well as a personalized sales support, real people, real help, and the customer support is in English as well as in Arabic. And for the Blockchain DXB listener and community, guys, I do have something really exclusive for you. What you can do is register with Amana using the code Blockchain DXB, or you can also use the link that is in the show notes below. And here's the best part, guys. Once you register, fund your account with a minimum of $100 and at least go ahead and make one trade, and then you'll receive a $100 trading bonus credit to your account the following month. But look, guys, it's real important to note, the bonus is non-withdrawable. It is there to help you trade and learn. So look, guys, if you're looking for a transparent, powerful and easy to use app, that's Amana for you. So what are you waiting for, guys? Download the app now, or you can also visit the website that is amana.app, and don't forget to use the code BlockchainDXB. And Amana, guys, is all markets one app. Next, guys, I'm happy to announce that Blockchain DXB is the official media partner with one of the OGs in the cryptocurrency and blockchain event space, and that is Blockchain Futuristic Conference taking place in Florida this year, as well as ETH Women taking place simultaneously. And trust me, guys, this is an event that you don't want to miss, isn't it? Because for the very first time, North America's most immersive Web3 event is heading to the United States of America, and the Blockchain Futurist Conference and ETH Women event is actually taking place between the 5th and 6th of November. And the location is absolutely stunning, guys. It is taking place at Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, which is in Hollywood, Florida. That's right, guys. Palm trees, panels, and the biggest mind in blockchain and cryptocurrencies all in one place. So there will be multi-stage panels, NFT galleries, DeFi showcases, hand-on tech demos, metaverse experiences, even outdoor VIP cabanas, and quite a lot more. And the Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, guys, is one of the most iconic venues in the country. So look, guys, if you're in the Web3 space, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, or even artificial intelligence space, or just want to do some serious networking, this is the place that you got to be. And to all of you Blockchain DXB listeners, guys, we have something really interesting for you, because you can get a 25% off the tickets. So just use the code DXB25, and the link to the event as well as the code is in the show notes below. And as an official media partner, I'll be doing exclusive live coverage, interviews, behind the scenes access, and I will be spotlighting some of the most exciting projects shaping the future of decentralized finance tech. So if you're at the venue, guys, definitely come and say hi. Maybe we can catch up for a coffee as well. So listen, guys, the code is DXB25, and by using this code you will be eligible for a 25% discount. And the event is taking place between the 5th and 6th of November 2025 at the iconic Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, that is in Hollywood, Florida. And in the show notes below, guys, there's all contact details for Blockchain Futuristic Conference Florida 2025, as well as ETH Women. And look, guys, this is the future of blockchain technology brought into life. So don't just read about it. Be there and head to the website that is futuristconference.com and go ahead and use the code DXB25. So see you at the event. Next, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well. And Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously. And they're focusing on 3 P's. That is people, planet, and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gulf Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform, check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below.
Now, guys, since you're taking care of that, let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and quickly run to the global cryptocurrency market. Now, mind you guys, it is important to note, we are recording this episode in the early hours of Dubai, and based on my understanding, these numbers will drastically change because the FOMC announcement wasn't surprising at all. And at events such as this, a lot of high net worthy individuals, traders, as well as whales, they notoriously try to cleverly manipulate the market. And that is precisely the reason why the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies marginally went down yesterday. So I'm definitely anticipating these numbers to drastically change by the time you're listening to the episode. Now, that thing being said, guys, the global cryptocurrency market is at $2.29 trillion, and this does represent a 0.9% increase since the last 24 hours. Now, what I'm really not liking, Satoshi, since the last 24 hours is 2 things. Firstly, the volume of cryptocurrencies isn't looking that great. The combined volume is only at $62.5 billion. And secondly, Satoshi, the volume of decentralized exchange It has definitely been absolutely horrendous since the last few years, and since the last 24 hours, it is down to $6.82 billion. And here's the thing, guys, the total fees connected for these transactions is only at $61.16 million, and the total value locked, guys, has not crossed $80 billion in 2026, I believe. It is only at $75.44 billion since the last 24 hours. Now, it is important to note Satoshi in 2025, on an average given day, the total value locked was hovering around the $120 to $140 billion mark, but that was a time when the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are pumping up, isn't it? So what is your assessment regarding the global cryptocurrency snapshot as of now?
Current market conditions are definitely subdued, George. The low combined volume and significantly reduced DEX activity point to quiet participation, especially compared to the peaks we saw last year. The total value locked also reflects that lack of momentum, sitting much lower than its historical highs. It suggests a general pullback and perhaps a wait-and-see approach from investors. We'll have to watch for catalysts that might reignite interest.
You're absolutely correct, Satoshi, and right now there's geopolitical chaos going on, isn't it? Hopefully things settle down and we have peace in the Middle East, and if that thing happens, there's only one way where the prices of Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies could be heading towards. Now, because of the FOMC announcement, Satoshi, since the last 24 hours, if we look at the ETF-related information, we do have strong ETF outflows, and the outflows is accounting to almost $60 million, $59.636 million to be precise. But based on my understanding, Satoshi, there's a very high possibility we might be seeing inflows in the next data. Now, what I want you to do, Satoshi, I want you to run through the matrix that is connected to decentralized exchanges. So why don't you do one thing? Why don't you read out the matrix for the top 5 platform for our listeners, please?
Understood, George. To cover the top 5 decentralized exchange platforms by volume for the last 24 hours, Uniswap leads at approximately $2.21 billion, followed by PancakeSwap with around $666.24 million, then Native at approximately $634 million, Pump on $514 million, and Aerodrome at about $431 million. While the overall volume is down, that breakdown shows how activity is concentrated. We'll keep an eye on whether the ETF flows you mentioned begin to shift the current trend.
Now, what I'm really not liking, Satoshi, in 2026, this is connected to the volume of stable coins. And look, in 2025, Tether USDT's volume used to be about the $100 billion mark, but in 2026, I hardly believe it has actually crossed the $80 billion mark. And since the last 24 hours, Tether USDT's volume is only at $54.10 billion. Circle USDC is at number 2nd, and its 24-hour volume is at $10.76 billion, and at number 3rd is FDUSD with a 24-hour volume of $188.90 million. Now, what I want you to do next is, I want you to run through the market cap, tell our listeners what is going on since the last 24 hours for Bitcoin, and also the dominance of Bitcoin, and do the same thing for Ethereum as well as Binance BNB Coin for our listeners, please.
Bitcoin's market cap is at $1.27 trillion, with a 24-hour trading volume of $26.78 billion. Its dominance is at 55.6%. For Ethereum, the market cap is $227.36 billion, trading volume is $11.32 billion, and dominance is 9.93%. Finally, Binance Coin has a market cap of $75.63 billion, and its 24-hour volume is $915.66 million. That gives you the key milestone.
Well, thank you so much for that, Satoshi. And here's the thing, as effective 1st of July 2026, MiCA regulations have kicked in, isn't it? And in every Blockchain DXB podcast, Satoshi, we tend to look at one new matrix. Today, why don't you do one thing? Why don't you tell our listeners what is going on regarding MiCA and read out the matrix of the top 5 platforms? Now, I'm right in saying, Satoshi, because they have just been live on the 1st of July, these matrix are relatively less, and as weeks, months, and years go by, these numbers will drastically increase, probably 5x or maybe 10x from now, isn't it?
You're right, George. Now that MiCA is live, we'll likely see these numbers grow significantly over time. For today's snapshot of MiCA-compliant stablecoins, the total market cap is $72.9 billion, which represents a 0.2% decrease in the last 24 hours. USDC's market cap is $72.20 billion, EuroC is $450.94 million, Euro Convertible is $150.22 million, Eurite is $38.75 million, and Monerium Euromoney is at $33.08 million. As you said, this is just the starting point for this market under the new rules.
Do you think, Satoshi, these particular matrix will be increasing 5x or maybe 10x in just a matter of few years?
You're absolutely correct, George. Given the push for regulatory clarity and potential broader adoption, substantial growth is definitely possible. Predicting the exact multiple within a few years is tricky, but increased investor confidence and more financial products could certainly drive that up significantly. It really depends on how global adoption unfolds.
Well, let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and tell our listeners what is going on regarding the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. So why don't you tell our listeners the price of Bitcoin, what is going on since the last 24 hours and 7 days, and do the same thing for Ethereum as well as Binance BNB for our listeners, please.
Sure, George. Bitcoin's price is currently $63,509, showing a drop of 0.43% in the last 24 hours and 3.69% over the last week. Ethereum is at $1,886, down 1.75% for the day and 2.10% for the week. As for Binance Coin, it's at $568, with minor drops of 0.37% in 24 hours and 0.31% since last week. Those are the key movements.
Well, thank you so much for that, Satoshi. And here's the thing, guys, if you look at the fear and greed index, right now the market is still at fear and the number associated is 34. And talking about geopolitical news, Satoshi, looks like there's escalation going on between Iran and US. And what happened yesterday at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, looks like the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps force launched multiple ballistic missiles from Iran. And this was in an attempted surprise attack on US forces based in the Middle East. But here's the important thing to note, Satoshi. All Iranian missiles were successfully intercepted by US forces, and based on official information via CENTCOM via X, they have said that US forces remain vigilant and are at a high state of readiness. Now look, Satoshi, am I right in saying it is important for our listeners to only go and look at official sources regarding this particular situation, and CENTCOM, according to me, is definitely one of the official sources, isn't it? Apart from that, I'd really urge our listeners to go and follow President Donald Trump via Truth Social. At the same time, Satoshi, also go and follow the President of Iran as well as the Foreign Minister of Iran via X. And I think it is also a good idea to follow the Prime Minister of Pakistan via X, because he was the one who was trying to negotiate some pieces in it. Now I also noticed, Satoshi, CENTCOM has posted something really interesting via X. So why don't you do one thing? Why don't you tell our listeners what is it that they actually posted via X? Because the reason I wanted to discuss this is because news such as this directly impacts Straits of Hormuz. And after you go and read out the information, Satoshi, let's go and discuss what kind of an impact it will have on Straits of Hormuz, keeping in mind inflation, because it directly will be impacting the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, isn't it? But before we go and do that, Satoshi, why don't you read out the post that is put out by CENTCOM? And for our listeners, all of this information is via X.
Sure, George. Let me go ahead and read that word for word for you. U.S. Central Command and the Saudi Arabian Armed Forces conducted precision strikes in Iraq July 28 against Iran-aligned terrorists that the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, directed to attack U.S. forces and Saudi energy infrastructure. U.S. and Saudi fighter aircraft struck multiple terrorist logistics and weapon sites across eastern Iraq in a strong response to over 30 IRGC-directed aerial drone attacks in the last 72 hours. The unwarranted attacks against U.S. forces were not successful. That's the complete post.
Now look, Satoshi, am I right in saying as and when the war escalates, the flow of ships via Straits of Hormuz will be impacted, and if that thing happens, there is a very high possibility inflation will be picking up pace, and when inflation picks up pace, unfortunately the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies could be impacted, isn't it?
Well, George, you're right that any disruption to that shipping route could have global impact. If freight costs go up and supply chains are constrained, inflation can definitely increase. And when that happens, investors might move towards traditional safe havens, which could potentially pull capital away from riskier assets like crypto. It's a chain reaction worth watching.
It definitely was worth watching, and I cannot stress this enough, guys. Make sure you go and look at information only from official sources. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go and discuss probably the most important news for today. And this is connected to the FOMC announcement. And the news cause is that the US Federal Reserve Board, they have decided to keep the interest rate unchanged. And the interest rate is at 3.5% to 3.75%. And if you go out and look at the official sources via the Federal Reserve Board website, guys, they are citing solid economic growth, a stable job market, and also ongoing uncertainty linked to Middle East. And here's the thing, guys, policymakers have said that inflation remains above the Federal Reserve Board target of 2%. And the last CPI data, Satoshi, did clearly state that inflation has fallen down a lot. But it is important to note, guys, that was the time when Memorandum of Understanding was signed, and there was constant flow of ships. But after that particular inflation data was out, escalation has increased once again. So it's going to be really interesting to see what inflation data is. Now regarding the FOMC announcement, Satoshi, it is also important to note that 3 Federal Reserve Board officials did actually dissent to keeping the interest rate the same. They were arguing that the rate should be increased, and they were highlighting continuous concerns over persistent inflation. Now it's going to be really interesting to see, Satoshi, what the next inflation data is. But here's the thing, Satoshi, the Federal Reserve Board chair, that is Kevin Walsh, did actually go live via YouTube, and he did give us reason as to why they have decided to keep the interest rate the same. And look, right now under the Trump administration, the US economy is definitely doing great, and to be completely honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the inflation does actually go down. So do you want to briefly tell our listeners, Satoshi, because the interest rate is unchanged, what is the reason why the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies could potentially pump up? And let's say in the final quarter of this year, the Federal Reserve Board does decide to go ahead and reduce the interest rate, why will the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies pump up once again, please?
Well, George, the Fed decided to maintain rates because of steady economic growth, a strong job market, but also concerns about ongoing uncertainty in the Middle East. Even though inflation has cooled from its peak, it's still above their 2% target. Now, the reason Bitcoin might rally if they cut rates is that lower borrowing costs make riskier assets like crypto more attractive, and investors start seeking higher yields. If they reduce rates in the final quarter, that could definitely spark more buying pressure. It's all about shifting sentiment and monetary policy.
And talking about shifting sentiment, Satoshi, later on in the month of August, I believe, or in September, there's also going to be a Jackson Hole speech, isn't it? Now, do you want to tell our listeners what the Jackson Hole speech is? Why is it so important? And at the Federal Reserve Board committee meeting, which was live via YouTube, media did ask the new Federal Reserve Board chair, that is Kevin Walsh, what is it that he'll be speaking at the Jackson Hole event? Do you want to tell our listeners, Satoshi, what is the Jackson Hole event and why is that particular event so impactful?
Sure thing, George. The Jackson Hole Symposium is an annual conference hosted by the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City, gathering central bankers, economists, and policymakers from around the world. It's important because major policy announcements or shifts can be hinted at there, strongly impacting financial markets. Kevin Walsh, as the potential new chair, would likely discuss current economic challenges, inflation, and the path for future monetary policy, which would have folks listening very closely.
Do you know the exact date when the event will actually take place, Satoshi?
Typically, George, the Jackson Hole Symposium takes place in the latter half of August. We'd need to check the official website for the specific dates for 2026.
Well, we'll definitely keep an eye on the Jackson Hole event, and I cannot stress this enough, guys. Go ahead and listen to the entire speech. We'll definitely go ahead and touch base on the Blockchain DXB podcast when the event takes place. Now let's go ahead and discuss some interesting news all the way from Europe. Now me personally, I'm not a fan of this Satoshi, because according to me it is a consortium, and the newscast is that Europe, they have officially launched a regulated layer 1 blockchain, and this is called as RL1. And this so-called blockchain network is built specifically for regulated financial institutions. And here's the crazy thing, guys. It is backed by 10 major European banks and financial firms. And so far as RL1 is concerned, guys, they are claiming that they're aiming to unify fragmented blockchain infrastructure and want to support tokenized assets, digital money, and institutional settlements. And regarding this network, guys, they've already processed over 50 transactions worth over £700 million, with more banks expected to join the RL1 network. And here's the crazy thing, guys, so far as the RL1 network is concerned, they are designed to accelerate secure, compliant, and scalable blockchain adoption across the European financial sector. Now, Satoshi, do you want to quickly run through some of the names that are part of this consortium?
Sure thing, George. Some key members include ABN AMRO, Seca Bank, Credit Mutual, Deca Bank, DZ Bank, Natixis, and SC Ventures, among others. It's quite a lineup of established European players. They're aiming to standardize and boost blockchain adoption in the financial sector.
Now, Satoshi, am I right in saying that this is more of a permission blockchain as opposed to open blockchain? And this is exactly the reason why Bitcoin was created in the first place, isn't it? Now, with a lot of banking giants getting involved, we're essentially going back to where centralized entities will be control over cryptocurrencies as well, isn't it?
You have a valid point, George. R1 does sound like a permissioned model, restricted to specific institutions, which is quite different from open, public blockchains like Bitcoin's. It does raise questions about the potential return of centralized control, which was one of the main reasons Bitcoin was created to challenge. It's an important distinction to keep in mind.
Now let's do one thing, Satoshi, for our listeners. Let's very briefly explain the difference between open versus permission blockchain. And there are a couple of pillars of Bitcoin and open blockchain. The first one is open source. And here's the thing, guys. When you talk about open source, the source code is publicly available for absolutely anyone to inspect, audit, modify, and contribute to it. But in case of permission blockchain, the software is typically developed and controlled by a company or consortium, such as this case, which change is managed by approved members, isn't it? And the next pillar, Satoshi, permissionless. And when you talk about Bitcoin and open blockchain, absolutely anyone can join the network, run a node, validate transactions, or build applications without any approval. But in case of permission blockchain like the R1 blockchain, participants must be approved by a network operator or so-called consortium before they can assess or validate the network, isn't it? And the third pillar, Satoshi, is borderless. And it's needless to say, Satoshi, when you talk about Bitcoin, absolutely anyone can participate from anywhere in the world without geographical restrictions. As a matter of fact, Satoshi, there was a transaction that was done in space as well, and this was done by a company called as Blockstream. But in case of permission blockchain like the R1 blockchain, participation is generally limited to approved institutions operating with specific legal and regulatory jurisdictions, isn't it? And the fourth pillar of Bitcoin and open blockchain, Satoshi, is censorship resistant. And look guys, no single organization can prevent valid transactions from being processed, but in case of permission blockchain, network operators such as the consortium of banks can restrict participation or block transactions when required by regulations or government rules. So as much as we like this particular new Satoshi, according to me it is definitely not great. And looking at the next pillar of Bitcoin and open blockchain is neutrality. And look guys, in case of Bitcoin and open blockchain, the protocol treats every participant equally without favoring any individual, company, government or any geographical restrictions. But in case of permission blockchain, access, governance, and privileges are determined by the member institutions operating the network, isn't it? And according to me, Satoshi, the next pillar is probably the most important one. And this is that all the transactions are publicly verifiable. And in case of Bitcoin and open blockchain, guys, absolutely anyone can independently verify transactions and audit the blockchain's history. But in case of permission blockchain, or even central bank digital currency for that matter, only authorized participants can access transactions, data and verify activity on the network, isn't it? So am I right in saying, Satoshi, this news is definitely a permission blockchain, more of a consortium, isn't it?
George, you're absolutely right. The regulated layer 1, or RL1, does function much like a permission blockchain. Unlike open public chains like Bitcoin, participants here are vetted, giving institutions the control and regulatory compliance they need. When we compare that to the pillars of Bitcoin, which is open for anyone to join and verify, the difference is really clear. The source code isn't public, access is controlled, and governance is managed by the member institutions, not a decentralized community. It also doesn't use a native crypto, focusing instead on things like tokenized securities and regulated settlement. Does that capture it, George?
It definitely does capture it, Satoshi, but for our listeners, let's do one thing. Let's go ahead and tell them how does RL1 actually differ from public blockchains such as Ethereum. And it is important to note, guys, this particular consortium of blockchain is built for regulated institutions, and RL1 by design is specifically meant for banks, asset managers, financial institutions. But so far as Ethereum is concerned, they're open for everyone to go and use in it. And as we talked about permissioned access, it is needless to say only approved participants can actually operate on RL1 blockchain, thereby ensuring compliance and financial regulations. And there's going to be shared governance as well. And RL1, guys, is actually owned by its member institutions, thereby giving each participant equal voting rights instead of relying on a decentralized community. And because it is a consortium and regulated, they do have a compliance first design in it, and the network is built to meet strict banking, security and regulatory requirements from day one. And RL1, guys, is focusing on tokenized bonds, digital money, collateral management and financial market infrastructure, rather than decentralized finance or NFTs, which is why Ethereum got so popular, isn't it? So getting institutional settlement is probably one of the biggest aims of RL1 blockchain, and because of the £700 million worth of transactions, right now looks like RL1 is already production ready. And if you were compared to other cryptocurrencies and open blockchain, guys, RL1 is already ready, and they're already demonstrating real institutional use cases. What do you make of this particular new Satoshi? According to me, it does go against the very essence of why Bitcoin was created, isn't it?
George, you've highlighted a key tension here. Bitcoin was born from a desire for decentralization to operate outside of traditional banking systems. The regulated layer 1, or RL1, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. It's built specifically for regulated institutions, integrating compliance and control right into the blockchain's fabric. So yes, it does go against the ethos of an open, permissionless platform like Bitcoin. However, for banks, it represents a way to use blockchain while meeting their legal obligations. It really depends on what you believe the primary purpose of the technology should be.
Well, thank you so much for your valuable insights, Satoshi. Definitely appreciate that. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and discuss another news. And this is also connected to blockchain. And BNY Cards, which is the world's largest custodian bank, with I believe it over $59 trillion in assets under custody and administration, is moving its transfer agency records on blockchain. And the new system, guys, creates a single shared source of truth for ownership records, thereby reducing the need for multiple intermediaries. And more importantly, guys, with this move, they're enabling 24/7 settlement on tokenized funds, and major firms including BlackRock and also Bailey Gifford are expected to use the platform for new tokenized investment funds. Now look, Satoshi, news such as this marks another major step towards integrating blockchain into traditional financial markets, isn't it? What do you make of this news, Satoshi? And finally, can you tell our listeners, how do average users actually benefit because of this particular initiative?
George, the BNY Mellon news is a huge signal of confidence. When a giant custodian moves their transfer records to blockchain, they're effectively streamlining processes, reducing those middlemen you mentioned, and creating a single shared source of truth. Now, for average users, this can translate to faster transaction times and potentially lower fees by making fund management more efficient. It's another proof point that blockchain is moving beyond niche experiments into the core infrastructure of global finance.
Well, definitely interesting news, isn't it? Now let's go ahead and discuss the final news for today, Satoshi, and this is connected to one of the biggest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world, and we are talking about Binance. And the newscast is that Binance has launched a commodity options, allowing users to trade gold and silver options directly from the Binance account, and they can do that using USDT. Now here's the interesting thing, Satoshi, they are doing that via the Abu Dhabi exchange, and the reason why it is interesting is because this new European style contract lets traders speculate one price movement, hedge positions, and also trade volatility, and they can do that without owning the underlying commodities. And to encourage this adoption, Satoshi, Binance is offering zero markup fees and also reduced take-up fees at 0.02% for a limited time. Now look, as from a business point of view, the launch expands Binance's push into a traditional financial market, and they're doing that by bridging commodity trading to its crypto platform, isn't it? Do you want to tell our listeners, Satoshi, the significance of such an announcement by Binance?
George, from a business perspective, this is Binance expanding its reach. By offering commodity derivatives, they're attracting traditional traders while giving existing crypto users more options to diversify. The zero maker fees and reduced taker fees are clearly designed to capture market share quickly, making it cheaper to trade. It shows their ambition to be more than just a crypto platform, competing directly with conventional financial services.
Now what I wanted to find out, Satoshi, what are the dangers associated for users because of this? Are there any risks involved, possibly of losing all of the funds?
George, the primary risk is the inherent volatility of derivatives, especially commodities. With leverage, even a small price movement can lead to significant losses, potentially more than the initial investment if not managed carefully. Users also face counterparty risk, relying on Binance to fulfill the contracts, though that's true for any exchange. So yes, there's absolutely potential for substantial losses.
Well, anyway, we'll definitely take it as a positive news for Binance. And in the episode that we talked about yesterday, Satoshi, we talked about some users complaining that Binance has been taken off from Google Store, and this is connected to certain European countries. So them making this particular news is definitely perfect timing as well, in my honest opinion. So these were some macro level newscasts on the Bitcoin blockchain, cryptocurrency, and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and look at two news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. The first news is a massive news, and Emirates, guys, they are partnered with Crypto.com, and they're giving customers a new way to pay for flights, isn't it? So why don't you do one thing, Satoshi? Why don't you tell our listeners more information regarding this news? Because look, a lot of people all over the world, particularly in the United Arab Emirates, they use Emirates quite a lot, isn't it? And this news is definitely not surprising. And according to me, it is a game changer not only for the cryptocurrency industry, but also for the airline industry, isn't it?
Sure, George. Emirates is now accepting cryptocurrency payment for flights, which gives travelers another digital payment option. What it does is offer travelers more flexibility and convenience when booking flights.
And I believe this is on the Emirates app as well as on the website when they are booking the flights, isn't it? And here's the thing, guys, there are also different payment options that are available, particularly during the checkout, thereby making the process quick and simple. And regarding the service is currently available to eligible UAE residents with Crypto.com accounts. And so far as bookings are concerned, guys, bookings must be priced and paid in UAE dirhams. in order to go ahead and use the feature. And it is important to note, guys, the payments are processed securely and fully comply with UAE regulatory standards. And this launch follows a partnership announced between Emirates and Crypto.com last year in July of 2025. And regarding the payment integration, Satoshi, the payment integration was successfully launched 1 year after signing the partnership, and people who try to book their flights via mobile, they are automatically redirected to Crypto.com app to approve payments securely. And so far as desktop users are concerned, guys, you can simply scan a QR code to complete the payment, and once payment is approved, you will instantly receive the booking confirmation and e-ticket. And regarding the new Satoshi, Emirates is saying that the feature gives customers more payment flexibility and greater convenience. And with this move, the airline is targeting the needs of digital-first, mobile-savvy travelers. And Crypto.com regarding the news, guys, has said that this particular partnership is a major milestone for its global payment platform. And regarding the integration, guys, it is powered by Crypto.com's Dubai licensed entity, and it does support regulated digital payments. And regarding Crypto.com, guys, they currently hold a stored value facility license, also called as SVF license, which was issued to them by the UAE Central Bank. And the launch of this particular news got supposed to by a goal of making 90% of financial transactions digital by the end of this year. And this particular partnership, guys, does highlight the UAE's growing leadership in digital payments, fintech and crypto innovation. So this new Satoshi, according to me, is definitely great. And it is no surprise that Emirates is actually merging with Crypto.com. Now let's go ahead and discuss the second news for today, Satoshi, and this is connected to CENTCOM. And earlier today, Satoshi, we talked about the importance of CENTCOM as well as in it. And the news is that they are launching the first bilateral AI task force within the United Arab Emirates. And this new initiative, guys, is called as Task Force Tail and Synapse. And the task force is expected to officially launch in the next coming weeks. And the team will actually be based in the capital of United Arab Emirates, that is Abu Dhabi. And around 20 US and UAE experts, guys, will make up the entire task force. And members will specialize in AI, data, and also cybersecurity. And the goal of the task force is to speed up military AI development. And the task force will help deliver AI capabilities faster to military operations. And CENTCOM regarding the news, guys, have said that this particular partnership is a huge historical milestone with key regional ally, and both countries, guys, aim to drive innovation and speed and scale. And the idea for this particular task force was actually discussed last year in 2025, and CENTCOM and UAE officials regarding this news, guys, have already started working together to develop the initiative, and AI industry leaders can also contribute ideas during the recent meetings. And regarding the task force, they will be integrating AI into intelligence support, and they will also help protect critical infrastructure using AI technologies. And look, as artificial intelligence will also be used to monitor the regional security environment. So this partnership does strengthen US-UAE defense and technology cooperation as well as in aid. And this initiative, guys, does highlight the growing role of AI in modern defense operations as well. According to me, Satoshi, this is definitely a powerful and important news in aid. And looks like the United Arab Emirates is definitely taking the right move by starting a task force with CENTCOM. So these were some macro level news, guys, on the Bitcoin blockchain, cryptocurrency, and artificial intelligence world from blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now let's do one thing. Let's go ahead and kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB podcast. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And Satoshi, we have a question from Myla who asks, do you think more airlines and global brands will start accepting crypto payments after the Emirates announcement of integrating with Crypto.com? This, to be honest, Myla, is such an important question. And look, right now in Dubai, there are a lot of real estate giants along with day-to-day care that have already accepted Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So I do anticipate, because of this massive announcement by Emirates, a lot of the airline industry, along with that a lot of retail giants, will definitely be taking a second look regarding Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. But it is also important to understand, Myla, they're technically not using cryptocurrencies in the purest sense, because these funds are converted into UAE dirham, and the airline industry does actually get fiat currency, and this is where Crypto.com kicks in, isn't it? But look, news such as this is definitely positive, and I'll definitely take that as a massive win any given day. Now, unfortunately, right now, because the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are falling down, and because there's so much of volatility, Am I right in saying, Satoshi, the volatility aspect of cryptocurrencies does actually turn out to be a hurdle, isn't it? So rather than using cryptocurrencies, I do envision a lot of retail giants to be merging up with stable coins. And in United Arab Emirates, there are different rules and regulations for accepting stable coins as well, isn't it, Satoshi?
George, that's a great point. The volatility of cryptocurrency can definitely be a hurdle for both airlines and retail giants. That's why stablecoins, which are designed to maintain a stable value, are becoming more prominent. In the UAE, like you mentioned, there are specific regulations for stablecoins, which provides a clearer framework for businesses looking to accept them than for Bitcoin or Ethereum. Overcoming that volatility through solutions like stablecoins or immediate conversion will likely be key to widespread adoption.
Well, apart from United Arab Emirates, Satoshi, let's if you look at this news at a macro level, what industries do you think will be the first to go and start using cryptocurrencies as form of payment? I definitely do envision online payments, such as let's say buying things on Amazon, maybe even events. I'm talking about let's say music events, sporting events to go and start accepting cryptocurrencies. What is your assessment regarding that? And mind you, Bala, we are talking about things at a global level, not necessarily United Arab Emirates at this point of time.
Looking globally, I agree that online retail and e-commerce would likely be early adopters, as they already use digital payment methods. The events and entertainment industries, like music festivals and sporting events, also seem like plausible fits, especially for global transactions or digital collectibles. Beyond that, industries dealing with digital content, gaming, and even potentially freelance services with a global client base could see faster adoption. It often depends on where digital-first users are already active.
Now let me go ahead and put you on the spot, Satoshi. Let's say central bank digital currency kicks in, then I'm pretty much sure Emirates Bank, rather than using cryptocurrencies, will actually go ahead and start preferring to use central bank digital currency, isn't it? And look, our central bank digital currencies are kind of exactly opposite of what Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are to a certain extent, isn't it?
Yes, George, that's a likely scenario. Central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, are generally centralized and issued by the state, making them much more compatible with regulated financial systems. And yes, they are fundamentally different from decentralized cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, which remove central authority. Emirates might prefer CBDCs if they provide that stability and regulatory comfort while still offering the efficiency of digital payments. It's another pathway to modernizing their settlement.
Definitely valuable insight, Satoshi. And look, Mala, what you're asking is a definitely interesting question. And in Dubai, a lot of real estate companies, they've already started using cryptocurrencies. Definitely an interesting and excellent question. And that's about all, guys. I'm the Ask Me Anything Some Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, we are Blockchain DXB podcast. We look at the process. We look at the latest technological development. We talk about geopolitics, because politics and politicians, they directly and indirectly impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, isn't it? Then, guys, we look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. We look at the latest technological development. Artificial intelligence is definitely a hot topic in the Middle East. And according to me, guys, CENTCOM launching the first bilateral layer task with the United Arab Emirates is definitely a really important news. And what you're listening to right now, guys, is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.